the regular meeting order, call roll.
Mayor Querom.
Here.
Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Mabry.
Here.
Fabia.
Here.
Newman.
Here. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start out then with public comment. Anybody got public comment? Just need your name, Rob.
Sure.
And, yeah, make sure that's on.
Slide the switch on the top toward you. Toward you.
Oh, there.
There we go.
Well, I'm Robin Swift, and I addressed this with Joel this week about some people not being good stewards to some of our sanitation department on the street cleanup. And I feel like the regulations need to be relooked at and revised. One particular instance, it looked like somebody dumped an unload of clothes in the front lawn, just out there. And I just feel like we're really not, being good stewards to our sanitation workers. They probably get picked on the most, paid the least, and I feel like they need to have more discretion on what they pick up, or the regulations need to be looked at. Okay?
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, and I agree with you, and it's not just how things are being put out to curb, but it's those that are coming by and going through stuff that they don't, they go through things in a very haphazard way. So I think we do need to look at that going into next year, because that's a lot of stuff the guys are picking up. And, so, good point. Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, we'll go to the approval of minutes to Councilmember Newman.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on Monday, May 7th, 2018.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querom.
Aye. Now we'll do the approval of invoices to City Clerk Nelson.
Okay, tonight in the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have invoices totaling $85,088.30. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have bills totaling $72,539.19. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $221,095.14. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $620,548.54. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices and are now submitted for disposition.
I make a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments or corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querom.
Aye. Now we'll go to regular business, and we're going to start off tonight. We're going to move item number 11 up to now, and then we'll go down from there. So we'll go to City Clerk Nelson.
Okay, this is Resolution R-18-026. This is a resolution to approve a recommendation from the Princeton Plan Commission to issue a special use permit to Nathan and Lindsay Koenig. Mayor, this has been reviewed by all council members and is submitted for disposition.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution R-18-026, which is a recommendation for a special use permit for Nathan and Lindsay Koenig.
Second.
The motion's been seconded. Rachel?
I'll actually invite Nathan and Lindsay up if you guys just want to give a brief overview of this, like you did for the Plan Commission, and if the council has any questions, they can answer.
Just your names.
My name is Nathan Cohen.
And I'm Lindsay Koenig.
And what we are asking to have approved, that we've already presented to Planning Commission, is for a sports complex that we would like to build in Princeton. As far as what it is, it would be like an 8-field complex, all synthetic turf, and we're looking to bring in travel teams for baseball, softball. We will have soccer fields and lacrosse fields also available. There's been a few going up in the state. 3 years ago, there was one that was put up in Peoria by Louisville Slugger. One just opened actually in Bettendorf 3 weeks ago, I think it was. We were out there. And I think it would be a great asset to this community as far as bringing people to this town. I think it fits with what the city is going towards. It just, I don't know, my wife and I are just very passionate about this. Our boys started playing competitive sports about 3 years ago, and that's when we really started looking into this and, thinking what is the viability of this in this area. And through talking with the different tournament directors throughout the state, and then meeting with a couple different builders. Some builders are already targeting this area. The builder that we're actually dealing with is already, previous to us contacting them, had already done the demographics on Princeton. And so they were very excited when we went to them and finally told them where this was at. They were very excited about the prospects of it coming to Princeton. Basically, we're looking to bring a bunch of people to Princeton.
Can you speak to the economic impact? I know you've done studies.
Yep. As far as that, youth sports right now is a huge industry. As far as nationwide, it is the second biggest athletic industry in the country, behind only the NFL. It's almost double what the NBA does, because the NBA right now is about $6 billion, and youth sports is about $11 billion nationwide. So as far as the local impact, what we have done is, with the amount of teams that this complex can hold, we're looking at roughly 48 teams a weekend, and which is similar to the one in Bettendorf. And that information is still coming in. So when I talk about Bettendorf, it's all new stuff coming in. But they just posted last weekend on Saturday, they had over 5,000 people at the complex. And that's very similar in size to what we have planned. Now the numbers that we did weren't quite that high, because I don't know how they got 5,000, but if they did, great. But as far as what we have projected, let me find it. We're looking at roughly, counting players, coaches, everybody, about 124,000 people a year. And that's 36 weekends. If you have 46 teams a weekend, it comes out to, if I can find it here quick, a total account of 33 people per team, which when we did these numbers, we went very conservative. I know personally our boys, when we go, there's more than 33 people. But for instance, we just played yesterday, and there was probably 60 people just for our team. But when we did these numbers, we wanted to know what's the low end to make sure it's going to work and make sure it's good for everybody involved. So we're at roughly 124,000 people a year, which could potentially, at $21 a person, bring in roughly $5 million in direct spending to the city. As far as that goes, some of that has to do, with staying in hotels, restaurants, which when I talked to the planning committee before, it's something that, I think that we can bring more than what we already have to the city. And that's what I hope. That's part of this is bringing more to the city of Princeton. So, I guess besides that, is there any other questions?
If I could, first off, I want to thank you for investing in Princeton, number one. And I want to thank Rachel. I know she's been the point person, and this project was under wraps so much that she wouldn't tell us what was going on. So Rachel's good at keeping secrets in a positive way. Without naming your partners, but is there partners involved with this too, helping you with your finances and mentoring and things like that? And not that you don't need mentoring, but I'm just curious.
Okay. Yes, there definitely is. Through the last couple of years with our boys playing, when I first started talking about this with my wife, she's like, well, if you really want to do it, then you got to figure out a way to do it. So every tournament we go to with our boys, they play for about 3 years. It's my wife's dismay. I talk to everybody there, every tournament director, and get as many contacts as I can. I've recently came in contact with a person that helped build the Louisville Slugger in Peoria. He currently works with another company. They're building another one in Florida. He's a consultant for that company that builds them nationwide. He's been a huge asset. And that's also as far as trying to bring out a sponsor, a national sponsor, naming rights, stuff like that. And kind of lost track of where I was going.
And they'll be investors.
Yeah, as far as investors, right now, they like to remain silent.
Absolutely, that's fine.
Because the approach that we're taking is more of a kind of a one voice type thing. And then obviously bank involvement. But
Well,
yeah.
thank you again. I think the board overall has been real enthused about this project, and I jokingly told this board early on that my boys were not into sports, and I was the last person chosen for dodgeball as a kid, so
Well, that's not-
I've had to catch up on this project.
I'll just make a quick comment if I can. So this special use permit is to allow this to go into the logistics site, and then at upcoming meetings, there'll be more items on the agenda, including a development agreement for purchase.
And this is, you mentioned it, Nathan, at the very beginning, this is, you're right, I mean, this is something that kind of plays right into what we're trying to do in Princeton, that's bring people to town, increase our sales tax revenue and so on, and I can see some other businesses coming as well, and I know that has happened where these have been built in other areas, so
Yeah.
I think it's myself, I think it's a great project, and I'm looking forward to moving forward.
Nathan,
Yeah.
the multi-purpose building,
Mhm.
rentable batting pod area. Okay, I'm old school with that batting cages.
Right now, we have it, the way we have it designed, is to where we can open that building up to actually just be a shell building. So it can be used basically for whatever. But yes, the pods in there that are in the design currently are for like batting cages, pitching tunnels, we call them, but basically for year-round training type stuff. And for teams to use on weekends while they're there, they can rent those.
Would it be for the public during the week or no? Gotten that far?
As of right now, as far as these tournaments usually go, they're Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the most part. So Mondays for rain days in case it rains a ton and we can't play. But that's the benefit about these fields is they can hold up to 13 inches of rain in an hour and still be playable. So that's why we went with the synthetic turf and everything. But during the week, Tuesday through Thursday right now is pretty open for whatever presents itself.
Typically, our families that have kids in this travel league, are they traveling from 50 miles away or 100 miles away, or is there some geographic limit to how far mom and dad will go for something like this?
We go quite a ways. The demographics that we did were within a 4-hour drive. And that actually extends pretty far east and west for Princeton because of 80 and the ease of getting here. So it's an ideal spot. North and south, you shorten up a little bit. It's more of an oval shape. But typically it's within 4 hours. So we're looking at Indianapolis, past Iowa City, Madison, Milwaukee, down to St. Louis. For instance, just this last weekend, our boys were down in Peoria, and there were teams from 4 different states there. Played some teams from Missouri, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, everywhere. So they will travel.
I'd just like to echo the other comments on great job. This is a win-win for Princeton, and congratulations on going after a dream and making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Thank you, Nathan. Lindsay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. The motion has been seconded. Any other further comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Sabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-18-009. This is an ordinance in its second reading to annex property to the city of Princeton. There, the city council has reviewed this ordinance and is submitted for disposition.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance O-18-009, which is annexing property to the city of Princeton.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Again, this is the property where the First State Bank is building out north of town that we're annexing in. No further comments. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item is ordinance O-18-010. This is the first reading of an ordinance authorizing a settlement agreement with a member of the Princeton Fire Department. Mayor, the city council has reviewed the detail of this ordinance and is submitted for disposition.
I make a motion that we advance ordinance O-18-010 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel.
So this is an ordinance with the city of Princeton and a member of the Princeton Fire Department, the settlement agreement to resolve all disputes within that arrangement, and it allows the city to withdraw its petition to intervene in the firefighters' pension proceedings.
Any further comment? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-18-011, authorizing a sales tax referendum. This is a first reading, and all council members have reviewed this ordinance, and it is submitted for disposition.
I make a motion that we advance ordinance O-18-011 to its second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel.
So this is the sales tax ordinance that we talked about at our last meeting. As you'll see in the ordinance, it outlines, it only includes expenditures on public infrastructure. It doesn't include any of the other items that are able to be put in that referendum question. And last meeting, we also talked about the sunset clause, so I just wanted to circle back around to that. And based on attorney feedback, if we were to implement a sunset clause, we wouldn't want to do that until the ordinance implementing the sales tax, if it is approved per the referendum. That gets a little confusing. And then we also worded the referendum language to say that it would increase our sales tax from 0.5% to 0.75. So we maintain the 0.5% we still have, and it's just 0.25% more. And then one last comment on the bottom two paragraphs of the ordinance. It says it shall be no more than half of 1%. That should actually be 1% of 1%, as the state statute allows now. So we'll fix that before the second reading.
And again, this is strictly for use for street infrastructure, and a project that, if passes, we hope to complete about how many years? 15 years work in about 5 years time, and then the tax is intended to drop off after 10 years. So at that time we'll have bonded it out, we will have paid it off. So, any further comment?
So just to be sure that if this is approved by the voters, then we would create an additional ordinance, Rachel, for the sunset clause.
So if the referendum's approved, you have to pass an ordinance stating that it was approved, and the sunset clause would be included in that, correct?
Okay, we're prepared to do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the voters would be going, thinking there is no they would be voting on the fact that there is no sunset clause.
So that would have to be part of the education, but the attorney's recommendation was that's the cleanest way to do it is, say that the sunset will be approved once the referendum, if the referendum is approved.
And also, goes into the medical food, and autos are not included,
Right.
correct? Should that wording be added?
I think it's in the statute, yeah.
Any further comments? You okay? Laura? Any other? Okay. All right, call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
Aye.
Fabia,
Aye.
Newman,
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution R-18-023, authorizing a labor agreement with the International Union of Electrical Workers, Local Number 51, on behalf of the workers of the electric generation and electric distribution departments. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution, and it is submitted for disposition.
Make a motion that we approve Resolution R-18-024, which authorizes a labor agreement between the International Union of Electrical Workers, Local Number 51, and the City of Princeton.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel?
So this agreement is very similar to the water and wastewater agreement that we approved at the last meeting because they're both represented by Local 51. So a lot of the items in there are pretty much identical to what you've already seen. But this is a 4-year contract, and we are happy to be able to agree to a 4-year contract with them. There were a lot of things in the agreement that we were able to sunset. There are wage increases of 2.5% the first 2 years and 3% the second 2 years. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions we have on this agreement.
Comments? Call roll. Motion's been second.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
Aye.
Fabia,
Aye.
Newman,
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution R-18-025, authorizing an appropriation of MFT maintenance funds. Mayor, this resolution has been reviewed by all council members, and it is submitted for disposition.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution R-18-025, authorizing the appropriation of motor fuel tax maintenance funds.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel?
So this is our annual MFT requirement with IDOT. So this year, we are only going to take our salt purchases out of MFT as we're trying to build that up to do some future street maintenance programs in that fund. So based on the state contract we have for salt purchases, we are appropriating $39,000 from MFT to be used towards that for this fiscal year.
Any further comment? Motion, go ahead, Laura.
You said 39,000, but we're going with 45.
Sorry, I didn't include, I was looking at the second page. Yeah, 45,000 total, but we expect to spend around 39,000.
Okay.
Yeah, but the appropriation amount is 45,000. Thank you.
Any further comment? Motion's been second. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
Aye.
Fabia,
Aye.
Newman,
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to city manager report. Okay, I got 3 things on mine. The first one is I'll entertain a motion for a board appointment.
I move that we appoint Steve Keitzer to a 3-year term to the Princeton Public Library Board of Trustees, commencing on July 1st, 2018, and expiring on June 30th, 2021.
Second.
Motion's been second. Comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson,
Aye.
Mabry,
Aye.
Fabia,
Aye.
Newman,
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And then I have a public notice. City Hall and all non-emergency city departments will be closed on Monday, May 28th, 2018, in observance of Memorial Day. All garbage and recycling routes normally scheduled for Mondays will be picked up on Tuesday, May 29th, 2018, along with the normal Tuesday routes. All garbage and recycling must be curbside by 5 a.m. on Tuesday, May 29th. Questions can be directed to the Department of Streets and Sanitation at 815-872-7331. And well, just one other thing. We've got Bureau County Tourism puts out a really nice pamphlet and all about Bureau County and what they're to do here. And we were able, Princeton Tourism was able to have included a section on Z-Tour as well as our street concert schedule on the backside. So, a very nice, didn't cost us anything, didn't cost tourism anything. And then we had several people, this was kind of spearheaded by Sarah Church along with her dad Brian, But Ryan Crouch, Annette and Bill Schnabel, Rick Menzel, Tyler McCombs, and Rick Brooks took these pamphlets and they have spread them all over north central Illinois, as well as up in Wisconsin, dropping these off at Chamber of Commerce's, city halls, train stations, and so on. So I want to thank them publicly because they did that all on a volunteer basis. And that's all I have. So any old business? Any new business?
If I could, Mayor, just a moment, please. Last council meeting, I did ask some questions about the wage increases for these different employees that are under bargaining agreements. And I appreciate Rachel. She sent me a lengthy email kind of clarifying some things. So I just want to kind of make it clear that I still have concerns over the fact that we just approved, and I voted for this, the 11% rate increase, or I'm sorry, wage increase for the next 4 years. But I had a businessman approach me this past week that had known I was concerned about some of these things, and the businessman had me sit down with him for 30 minutes, and his comment was, he says he doesn't know how this is sustainable with these wages, and we want everybody to be, employed well and paid well for the city. But when we take, for example, if somebody's making $30 an hour, so over the next 4 years they're going to have 11% increase in their wages. There'll be a $3.30 wage increase at the end of the 4 years, which gets them up to $33.30. Or if there's, and then we have employees making $35 an hour, 11% is $3.85 over the 4 years, which gets us up to $38.85. And then I think there's some employees that are actually in the $40 range, and that would be 11% at $4.40, which gets it up to $44.40 an hour. The point would be is we just have to be thinking about this. We have 4 years now with these contracts, but I just don't know how we can sustain these numbers as these wages go up, because I think we have a poorer community and we have people that are making $11, $12 an hour, and I realize these are skilled positions that we're paying employees for, but I just want to go on the record that I'm concerned about how we sustain these things. The wages going up, the pensions that follow with those wages, as we call those legacy costs. So I appreciate all the work that Rachel did on the negotiations, and she explained to me how there was things here that they were able to get negotiated out of the contract. There were some things in there that Rachel inherited from previous city managers, but also we as council members, we voted to approve those things, but I think we voted on certain things over the past years that maybe we just weren't as educated on, and we appreciate Rachel's efforts on this to educate us, Rachel. I want you to know that I do appreciate your efforts. I think that I've told her a couple times that she inherited a room full of manure and she's still trying to find a pony. So that's my personal opinion. So again, I just am concerned in 4 years how we sustain these numbers. And again, I'm the guy that voted tonight for these numbers. So.
Why didn't you mention this while I was, open for you to discuss it during the ordinance?
Well, it wouldn't have changed my mind because I don't want to penalize. There's people that, if I felt like the electric generation, for example, if they are overstaffed, I brought that up a number of times and I didn't gain it. So Pete, I appreciate your input on that. I didn't realize you're a council member, but you are a resident voicing your concern. But I think that the point is, I voted in favor of it tonight, Pete, but I'm concerned about the feedback I'm getting, and I understand that feedback is how do we sustain these numbers?
We are going to do we're talking about doing a salary, a wage structure study. We had one done, I think, I don't know if we had one done 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, wage study. Wage study. I don't know if we've had one done. Not recent. So we are thinking about doing a wage study, having someone come in, and obviously there'll be some comparisons with communities our size as well. So we'd hope to do it. I mean, I think it'd be a good idea if we could have something like that done this year.
We catch a lot of feedback as council persons from the community, whether we decide to vote something that we get some people that'll feed us back in the sense of a positive thing, they support thing, and other things we get feedback from. And this particular businessman brought us a good point, and it's a person that employs well over 100 people in the community. So I sat down for half an hour and listened to him, and again, the key word is how do we sustain these numbers. So.
And I think, to that point, the department heads and I meet regularly to have those discussions. Obviously, it comes up every budget year, but we also meet frequently to have those. And I think I mentioned last meeting in 2015, we had we're down, I forget the exact number, but significant employees from when we were in 2015 to today, and that's just 3 years ago.
And we certainly appreciate that. We know also we're getting the squeeze like all governments, especially the local governments. The federal government is tightening up what they're giving to the state. The state is tightening up what they give to us. So at this point, we're kind of out there on our own in many ways. Waiting for the federal government and the state to offer us some handouts, it's pretty lean pickings in that respect.
Yeah, I think the number was, it was like 7 or 8 were down, and I think 4 of them were in the electric department alone in the last 3 years. So it's a challenge that we have, and it's a challenge that I think a lot of communities have, but the point well taken.
Thank you, Rachel, for your hard work on all the negotiations that you went with. I mean, you had to look at both sides of the... It's not easy.
Yeah, and to that point too, the employees, it could have been a much longer process, but we're thankful with the contracts that we ended up with.
There's always a give and take with these union contracts, and it's and I think it went fairly smooth actually this year. So that's a good job. And any further comment on new business?
I know I'm not on the council, but I'm going to mention this anyway under new business. That is that the city of Princeton has been approached to assist with a program called Run for the Fallen. I don't know if any of you have heard about it. It's a nationwide program where a number of veterans are going to be running from, I think it's Camp Pendleton in California, somewhere. And they're going to be running across the United States to Arlington National Cemetery. Princeton is on their route this year. And they are going to be coming to town on June 15th. And it's possible that instead of just staying overnight, Princeton will be designated as a rest city where they'll spend 2 nights here. Now, it's our understanding from the organizers that their lodging has been taken care of. But we're going to have an appeal to the city and the community and all of those who are vet-friendly, which is everybody in this town, to assist with meals, maybe some transportation, maybe a little entertainment. There will be a formal ceremony to recognize the runners coming through. My understanding is that there will be between 50 and 60 runners. And as they work their way across the United States, the runners change out. So certain runners will go a certain distance, and they'll be replaced by new fresh runners that will go some continuous distance. So we want to make a good impression on these folks for the services they've given, as well as show them how welcoming Princeton can be by opening our community to them as they come through. And there'll be more details as the date approaches, but it's coming soon. And it looks right now that the biggest challenge will be trying to get them all fed. The other thing is that along the route, they will be staking mile markers to commemorate the memory of those who have fallen in combat. And they try to do that so that those who have fallen in our area will have their own mile marker in our area. So it's a pretty, you can imagine it be a pretty moving thing. And the families of the fallen are invited to join the runners in the meals and the communal events that will be taking place, more of which will be advertised as time goes on, because it's still a little bit sketchy right now. Tom Root and the VFW are also getting involved in this, and I think also Representative Dan Swanson, who represents our district in Springfield, are involved in this. So they'll be running up from Galesburg on the 15th of June. And so get ready and open your hearts. Thanks.
Thank you, Pete. Any other new business? Any public comment? Just need your name.
Hi, I'm Geraldine Woodley, and with Pete's good news, I have good news too. There's a movie crew in town from a company called Jersey Mike's. They're subs, and they give grants. And out of 2,600 applicants, 5 were chosen, and lucky us, second story was one of them. So they're here, they're taking pictures right now at second story. Tomorrow they will continue to be in town, and when we with Lions Club and the kids from second story are cleaning up Veterans Park, they will be filming. And so they will be leaving on Wednesday. They were all excited to see the homes that were here and where did Princeton start, so we got a number of brochures together for them. So you, Mayor, will get this, and you can figure out when you can meet them and maybe get your pictures.
And remember, they have a dance on Friday night, I think. It's fantastic the way they got voted by minute when they came by plane and so forth.
Is this mine?
Yeah, that's yours.
Hector, I take it?
Hector?
Just, yeah, there you go.
Okay, just a couple of things. Tomorrow morning, the National Writers Group will pass through here to Princeton on Interstate 80 approximately between 8:30 and 8:40. This is the third annual event of the group. There will be a new banner that will be displayed over the bridge and the interstate along with the flags and the backdrop. Okay, the flags will be in the backdrop and at the runway. That's the one we're going to use for the one-ways for the rock and runway. So there's going to be motorcycle riders going to be passing through here as well. They're making their way down east. Also, as everybody knows, the Memorial Day is coming. There's going to be services that are going to be held. They're going to be published in the newspapers to start on Memorial Day at 08, then Oakland Cemetery, and then from there on be Emlong. And then Dover and Malden will be the last one, and we also have the ceremony. It's going to be held over by Soldier Service Park. So if anybody's doing it and you do feel patriotic, coming out and join us on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector. Any other public comment? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting and to reconvene at our next.
I make a motion that we adjourn our regular meeting tonight and then reconvene for our next regular council meeting on Monday, June 4th, 2018, 7 o'clock here at City Hall.
Second.
Motion has been second. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned, and thank you all for coming.